Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at work-life balance for teachers.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got
Yeah.
articles, research, even a whole book here.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're not going to bore you with just theory.
Right.
We're all about finding those golden nuggets, those practical tips you can actually use.
Exactly. And I think what's really cool about the sources we have for this deep dive is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they really acknowledge the burnout problem,
Yeah.
but they don't just stop there.
Right.
They actually give us steps to reclaim our time and energy
Yeah.
and even like boost our income.
Oh, yeah. One source even talks about how to track your time like a budget.
Oh, wow.
Like you're looking for spending leaks,
Yeah.
robbing us of our personal time.
Love it.
And they have this really cool analogy about treating successes like a snack.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah, so you know how you have a big bag of chips?
Yeah.
You don't just gobble the whole thing down.
Right.
You enjoy each bite.
Yeah.
Same with successes. We got to celebrate the small wins too.
Yeah. It is such a good point, and it plays into this idea that it's okay to start small.
Yeah,
Any step in the right direction is a win.
absolutely. But before we get into all those strategies,
Yeah.
we got to talk about the big B word,
Oh, yeah.
burnout.
It's real.
All these sources, they all say that putting your well-being first,
Right.
it's not selfish, it's essential.
Absolutely. It's not just about
Yeah.
being a good teacher. It's about being a good you.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, the oxygen mask on the plane.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to help yourself before you can help others.
Exactly.
Speaking of helping yourself, one source brought up this interesting idea,
Oh, yeah.
the teacher as the CFO.
I love this one.
Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the idea of a teacher being the CFO, it's about
Yeah.
taking all those amazing skills we have as educators,
Yeah.
the organization, the management, the planning, and applying it to our own lives.
Oh, so it's not just for the classroom, it's for our whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of feeling like we're constantly reacting to demands,
We become the proactive leader of our own well-being.
I like that the proactive leader.
Yeah, you're in charge.
So is it really like managing a classroom budget, but for your whole life?
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. The source breaks it down into 5 key areas.
Ooh, 5 key areas. All right, lay it on me.
All right, so number 1 is strategic life planning.
Okay.
And this is where you define your big vision for the future.
So not just lesson plans, we're talking life plans.
Exactly. What kind of life do you want to create?
Yeah.
Not just in the classroom, but overall.
Got it.
This sets the foundation for everything else.
Okay, strategic life plan, that's step 1.
Step 1.
What's next?
Next, we have resource management.
Okay.
Just like you manage a classroom budget,
Right?
you need to allocate your time, energy, and finances strategically
To reach those goals.
to achieve those big goals that you set in your life plan.
So that's where that time tracking comes in,
Yes,
to see where those resources are actually going.
exactly. And the source actually calls this a time audit.
Ooh, time audit. Time audit, yeah. And you might be surprised by what you discover.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Maybe you're spending way more time on a certain task than you thought.
Right, or not enough on things that matter.
Yeah, or maybe you're not dedicating enough time to things that truly matter to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got the big picture vision.
Yeah,
We're managing our resources like a boss.
like a CFO.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is all about family wellness coordination.
Family wellness.
Family wellness coordination. And this doesn't just apply to those with kids.
Okay.
It's about nurturing all the relationships that matter most to you.
Gotcha.
Creating a supportive and healthy environment.
Yeah.
Whether that's with family, friends, or even your pets.
So setting boundaries so work doesn't completely take over.
Absolutely carving out that quality time.
Yeah.
Making sure you're prioritizing those connections.
That makes sense because you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
That's such a good analogy.
I love that.
You can't show up as your best self for others if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Okay, so we've covered vision resource management, taking care of those relationships.
Mm.
What's next in this CFO framework?
Next up is personal development investment.
Okay, now hold on.
Yeah.
As teachers, we already do a ton of professional development.
Right. But this is different.
Okay.
This is about going beyond just the professional side.
So you mean taking a painting class or
Exactly.
learning a new language?
Yes. Anything that lights you up, helps you grow as a person,
Yeah.
and fuels your passions outside of teaching.
Okay. I could see that being really important,
Yeah.
to nourish that side of ourselves.
It's about investing in you as a whole person.
Okay, so we've got the big picture vision. We're managing resources, taking care of relationships, investing in ourselves. Is there anything else to this CFO thing, or have we covered it all?
There's one more piece, and it's a big one.
Okay, Hit me with it.
Legacy building.
Ooh, legacy building. That sounds kind of intimidating.
Yeah, it's about thinking long term. What kind of impact do you want to have on the world?
Wow. So it's not just about surviving each day.
Right.
It's about creating a life that reflects those deeper values.
Exactly. And it's not just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become in the process.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these 5 key aspects of being the CFO of our lives.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for some actionable steps.
Me too.
Where do we even begin?
Well, the source gives us a 5-step action plan, and it all starts with that time audit we talked about.
Okay.
Take a week and track your time.
Like every little thing.
Every little thing, like you would track your spending.
Ooh, I'm already nervous.
Be honest with yourself. Where are those time leaks happening?
I'm thinking social media, scrolling, online shopping.
Oh, yeah. We've all got them.
But this is about awareness, right?
Exactly. Shining a light on those habits.
Okay, time audit. Step 1, what's next?
Step 2 is energy drain analysis.
Energy drain analysis
So now you're going to identify which activities drain your energy.
versus the ones that energize me. So it's not just about the time spent, it's about the impact it has.
Exactly, because you could be spending hours on something that seems productive.
Yeah,
But if it leaves you feeling drained and depleted, it's not serving you well.
makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so we track our time, we analyze our energy drains. What's step 3?
Step 3 is all about setting boundaries.
Boundaries. Now, those are important, but so hard to actually do.
I know, right?
What's the secret?
The key is to be proactive.
Okay.
Schedule non-negotiable personal time blocks in your day.
Even if it's just for like 15 minutes?
Even if it's just for 15 minutes to step away and recharge.
So treat those blocks like important meetings.
Exactly. Like you wouldn't cancel on your principal.
Right.
Don't cancel on yourself.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I've tracked my time, analyzed my energy drains, and set some boundaries.
Okay.
What's the next step in this action plan?
Now comes the fun part.
Ooh, fun. Tell me more.
It's time to design your ideal week.
Okay.
Based on everything you've learned so far, create a schedule that balances work, rest, and those activities that bring you joy.
This is like lesson planning, but for my life.
I love that.
And then finally, step 5.
Step 5 is gradual implementation.
So don't try to do everything at once.
Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight.
Okay.
Pick one small change from your ideal week design and implement it this week.
Small steps lead to big transformations. I'm feeling empowered already, but there's one more piece from the sources I want to touch on before we move on. They all talk about the power of gratitude. How does that fit into this whole picture of creating a balanced life as a teacher?
Gratitude is such a powerful tool, and it's not just about feeling good. It actually has tangible benefits for our well-being.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can boost happiness by up to 25%.
Wow, 25%.
And reduce stress hormones by 23%.
That's huge. So how do you actually cultivate gratitude? Is it just about saying thank you more often?
Well, it can be that simple, but these sources offer some more concrete steps.
Okay, tell me more.
The first is creating a wins journal.
A wins journal?
Each day, write down 3 things you accomplished, no matter how small.
Oh, I like that. Because it's so easy to focus on what went wrong.
Exactly. This forces you to acknowledge those wins.
Okay, wins journal. What else?
They also recommend a sunset reflection.
Sunset reflection. That sounds nice.
Each evening, take a few minutes to reflect on your day.
Yeah.
And list 3 things you're grateful for.
So simple, but I bet it makes a difference.
It's about ending the day on a positive note.
Okay, wins journal, sunset reflection, anything else?
Last but not least, share your gratitude with others.
Ooh, tell them.
Yes, spread the love.
So like thank you notes to colleagues, little gifts for friends.
Exactly. It could be a thank you note, a text message, or even just telling your family how much you love them.
Those little acts of kindness can go a long way.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
Research shows that sharing gratitude not only benefits the recipient,
Right.
but it also boosts the giver's happiness and well-being.
So it's a win-win.
Win-win.
This is all fantastic stuff.
It is.
But let's be real. Sometimes teachers need more than just gratitude and time management.
Yeah,
Sometimes we need more income
absolutely.
and maybe even more time freedom.
More time freedom. Yeah.
Do these sources address that at all?
They do, and that's where things get really interesting.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear more about that.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after this break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about how teachers can boost their income and maybe even get a little more time freedom.
Right, because sometimes, gratitude and deep breaths aren't enough when you're feeling that financial pinch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So spill the beans.
Yeah.
What do these sources say about making more money?
Well, they have some really practical ideas, and the best part is they're all about using the skills teachers already have.
Okay, so no need to reinvent the wheel. Just use what we're good at. I like it.
Exactly. So, one option that's a natural fit is online tutoring.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Even just a few hours a week could bring in some extra cash, and you're already a pro at explaining things and helping students learn.
Right, we do that all day long. What else is out there?
Well, another option is creating and selling educational resources.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Teachers are constantly making lesson plans, activities, worksheets, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's true. We have tons of resources.
Exactly. So why not share them with a wider audience and get paid for your expertise?
That's a great point. I never thought about it that way.
There are tons of online platforms where you can sell these materials.
Okay, so online tutoring, selling resources. What else?
If you're really passionate about curriculum, you could become an educational consultant.
No, that's interesting.
Schools and districts are always looking for experienced teachers to help them improve their programs.
Yeah, that could be really rewarding using your expertise to make a bigger impact.
Absolutely.
Any other ideas?
Well, online learning is huge these days.
Right.
So you could try virtual teaching or creating online courses.
Oh, wow. Like on platforms like OutSchool and Coursera.
Exactly. You could reach students from all over the world.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
Right, this is exciting. Is there anything that stands out to you as particularly promising?
Yeah, actually, one that really caught my eye is this idea of starting an online business.
Oh, yeah. I remember you mentioning that earlier.
One of the sources calls it the Legacy Builder's Blueprint.
Okay. That sounds intriguing, but what exactly is it?
Basically, it's a system for creating a sustainable online business that makes passive income.
Passive income. Those are the magic words.
I know, right? And the idea is you create and sell digital products like ebooks, templates, online courses, things like that.
Okay.
And you set it all up so it basically runs on autopilot.
Wait, hold on. Break that down for me. How can a business run on autopilot?
Think of it like a vending machine.
Okay, the vending machine.
You put in your money, you make your selection, and boom, out pops your snack.
Yeah.
So with an automated sales funnel, which is what this blueprint teaches you, you create the product once you set up the system, and then it can potentially generate income even while you sleep.
Whoa, that's amazing. So it's like having a little money-making machine working for you 24.
Of course, it takes work to get it all set up initially.
Right.
But the beauty is that the income can keep coming in even when you're not actively working.
Wow. So much potential beyond just our regular teaching salary.
All right.
But let's be real, even with these side hustles, teaching is still super demanding. So how do these sources suggest dealing with all the stress that comes with the job?
Oh, they all agree that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity.
Yes, preach.
But they also emphasize that it doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming.
Okay, good. Because who has time for that?
Right. They offer a bunch of quick and easy strategies we can use.
Like, give me some examples.
Well, remember that 5-5-5 breathing technique we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5.
Exactly. Do that a few times between classes, and it'll help calm your nervous system.
Okay, I can definitely try that.
What else? They also suggest planning ahead.
Yeah.
Dedicate an hour each week to what they call a planning power hour.
Okay, a planning power hour.
Use that time to plan your meals, your errands, any appointments or tasks you need to get done.
So it's like lesson planning, but for life.
Exactly. The more you plan ahead, the less stressed you'll feel during the week.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What other tips do they have?
Take technology-free breaks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Even just 5 or 10 minutes away from your computer and your phone can make a huge difference.
Yeah, I need to do that more often. I swear my phone is like an extension of my hand.
I hear you step outside, go for a walk, chat with a colleague. Just give your mind a break from all the screens.
That's great advice. Any other stress-busting ideas?
Don't forget about movement.
Oh, yeah.
Incorporate stretches or movement breaks throughout your day.
I like that.
Even just a few minutes of stretching or a quick walk can release tension, boost your energy, and clear your head.
You know, I've noticed that when I do movement breaks with my students, they actually focus better afterwards. It's like a reset for everyone.
Exactly. And it just shows how taking care of your own stress as a teacher can actually benefit your students too.
I love that it's a win-win. Okay, so we've talked about the CFO concept. We've got practical strategies for managing time-boosting income, reducing stress. But I want to circle back to that CFO analogy for a minute. It's a powerful idea, but I'm curious, what are the key takeaways for teachers who want to really embrace this mindset?
I think the biggest thing is realizing that you are the leader of your own life.
Mm-hmm.
Both inside and outside the classroom, you have the power to make choices that align with your values and your goals.
Instead of just reacting to everything that comes at us.
Exactly. It's about being proactive and taking ownership.
I like that. And it's about applying that teacher mindset to all areas of life.
Right. We're good at planning and organizing, so let's use those skills to create the life we want.
And it's not about being perfect, right?
Definitely not. It's about progress, not perfection.
Small steps every day.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do it all alone.
What do you mean?
Just like we collaborate with our colleagues at school, we can build a support system outside of school, too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Talk to your friends, your family. Find a mentor, maybe even a life coach. Share your goals, your struggles, your successes. Having that support can make a world of difference.
That's so true. Sometimes just talking things through can help you see things more clearly. And before we move on, I want to mention something one of the sources talks about that really resonated with me. It's this idea of embracing imperfection.
Oh, yes, letting go of the need to be perfect.
It's so freeing, right?
It's like taking a huge weight off your shoulders.
Exactly. It's about giving ourselves permission to be human, to mess up sometimes, to learn and grow along the way.
And to celebrate those imperfections because they're part of what makes us unique.
I love that embracing the messiness of life. It's not about reaching some perfect destination. It's about enjoying the journey.
Beautifully said. Okay, so we've explored the teacher as CFO. We've covered strategies for creating balance. We've talked about gratitude and self-compassion. But there's one more piece I want to dive into before we wrap things up.
Okay, what's that?
One of the sources mentions this idea of finding your zone of genius.
Oh yeah, that sounds interesting. Tell me more about that.
Oh, yeah, the zone of genius. It's that sweet spot, where your talents and your passions kind of collide.
Right. It's not just what you're good at, it's what you actually enjoy doing.
Exactly. It's like that flow state you get into where you completely lose track of time.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. But how do you actually figure out what your zone of genius is?
Well, the source gives us a few questions to ask ourselves.
Okay, I'm listening.
So first, think about the activities you naturally gravitate towards.
Like, what do I do even when no one's watching?
Yeah, those things you do even when you're not getting paid or recognized for them.
So those hobbies and passions that I just can't resist.
Exactly, the things that light you up even when you have a million other things on your to-do list.
Got it. What else?
Then think about the tasks that you completely lose yourself in.
You mean where time just flies by?
Yeah, what are you doing when you feel most in the zone?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's when I'm creating lesson plans or finding new ways to teach a tough concept.
That's a perfect example. It sounds like that's definitely in your zone of genius.
It does feel like my brain is firing on all cylinders when I'm doing those things.
Exactly. And finally, think about the things people compliment you on or ask for your help with.
Okay, so what are my strengths? What do others see in me that maybe I don't even notice?
Exactly. It's about recognizing those talents that come naturally to you that you might even take for granted.
That's interesting. So by figuring out what falls into my zone of genius, I can be more intentional with my time and energy.
That's the idea. You can start making choices that align with your strengths and your passions.
Okay, I like that. But how does this all connect back to work-life balance for teachers?
Well, imagine if you could spend more time doing the things you love, the things that energize you.
That would be amazing, but is that even realistic when teaching requires you to do so much different things?
It might not be possible to completely eliminate tasks that fall outside your zone of genius.
Right.
But you can definitely shift the balance.
How so?
Well, think about ways to delegate tasks or even automate them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or you could even outsource some things.
Outsourcing as a teacher. I've never thought about that. What would that look like?
It could be anything from hiring a virtual assistant to help with admin stuff,
Okay.
to finding a service that grades papers or creates digital resources.
I never considered that, but it could free up so much time.
Exactly. It might be an investment up front, but it could pay off big time in the long run.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective.
It's about finding ways to work smarter, not harder.
I'm starting to see how even small changes can make a big difference in creating more balance and letting me focus on what I truly love.
And when you're working in your zone of genius, you're not just more productive, you're also more fulfilled and energized.
Like a win-win.
Exactly. And that positive energy, it spills over into every area of your life.
It's like a ripple effect, you know?
Exactly. And it's not just about you feeling good. It's about making a bigger impact when you're in your zone of genius. You can share your unique gifts with the world.
That's awesome. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that you have the power to create a life that you love, a life that feels good, and a life that's sustainable. It's about finding what works for you and making choices that align with your values, your goals, and yes, your zone of genius.
That's a great message to end on. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. So be kind to yourself, celebrate the small wins, and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope this has given you some inspiration and some practical tools to create that balanced life you deserve. And remember, you've got this